Blue Origin preceded SpaceX. So, the visions of the two billionaires are somewhat aligned. I mean, they have different ideas about whether you go to Mars or you create space stations. But, Jeff didn't start it and isn't investing in it because of Elon. He was sort of already doing that before SpaceX came along. Now, SpaceX has moved faster and gone bigger and gotten better contracts from the government than Blue Origin has. And I think in that respect, it has caused Jeff to kind of double down on Blue Origin, to start investing more. Early on, he had some peculiar ideas about keeping it very small and limiting his investment. And he's the sole funder of Blue Origin. And now SpaceX is winning these contracts, going to space every week, taking astronauts to the space station, getting paid to experiment basically for the end goal of going to Mars. And I think Bezos looked at that and said, why am I selling $1 billion worth of Amazon stock? And he has tried to increase or heighten Blue Origin's ambitions. And that actually, I think, has created a little bit of dysfunction there. And the company has struggled. They have talked about now taking tourists to suborbital space. SpaceX skipped that step altogether, right? And I don't know if Blue Origin would ever admit that might have been a kind of distraction. They probably wouldn't in their eventual ambitions, but clearly, the idea of perfecting that step. New Glenn, their orbital rockets now still a couple of years away. And meanwhile, SpaceX has captured the world's imagination. So there is rivalry at play. I don't think it's a kind of copycat thing, but two guys who, maybe there's not one room that's big enough for the both of them.
Except early on, you actually recount them going to dinner together with their wives at the time. And they did, in the early days, have some interaction. And then it sounds like as it got more competitive, things changed and communication was cut off.
But interestingly, in one of those anecdotes that's in the book, Jeff brings Elon to a tour of Blue Origin's early offices, and he clears the office of personnel and any visible signs of what they're working on. So even back then, there was a little bit of a spirited rivalry, I think. And Elon told me that he disagreed with Blue Origin's choice of rocket propellant. And, so there were kind of technical debates, a little bit, maybe a little bit of friction even early on. And then you see him battling over Cape Canaveral launch sites and contracts, and now the moon contract. And, and Elon, of course, has absolutely no discipline when it comes to tweeting things, can get a little juvenile. And it's enormously entertaining to watch these two guys kind of go at it.